Moving to the other AFC game on Sunday, we've got it on CBS, 3:05 Eastern Time. It's the Browns and the Chiefs. Brady, this is the largest spread of the week, but it seems like Cleveland is just, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, if you get the team that we saw last week, they could beat anybody.
Well, look, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I think a lot of what happened last week had more to do with how bad Pittsburgh played and gifting them some opportunities. And look, Cleveland delivered, don't get me wrong, but when you get short fields, when you get a touchdown spotted to you to begin a football game, everything on that game plan looks good, especially the way Ben played in that game. This is a different challenge, though. This is a team that's going to be well-rested. We know how good Andy Reid is coming off of a bye. But we also have a Cleveland Browns team that is actually going to get to practice this week, gets their head coach back on the sidelines, Joel Bitonio, Denzel Ward will be back. You know, now you're going to get, a little more clarity as far as what this group's going to look like going into the game and taking on Andy Reid and his Chiefs team. So, look, I think if you're looking for a game plan as to how the Browns can keep this one close, maybe even pull off the upset, you go back to the Raiders this season. And the Raiders were a team that they didn't back down. They've tried to go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs, knowing that you got to score points. So, again, when we get these high-powered offenses, whether you're talking about the Chiefs or the Bills in the AFC, I don't think you can be a team that's going to be scared of that and try to eat up the clock and get out of a rhythm. I think you have to do what you do and be willing to take chances and look to try to steal a few possessions or force some field goals once you get down into the red zone. So that's really the game here. I like the Browns and the 10 points. I don't necessarily think they win the game, but what I like best more than anything else is that under of 57 total points right now. I think this game could be a little more low scoring than most people realize, in part because of the way Cleveland likes to run the football, but also because, I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of a rust from the Kansas City Chiefs taking on this Cleveland Browns team.
Shocking. Brady took the Cleveland Browns. I mean, my gosh. There's the upset of the weekend.
I didn't say they were going to upset them. I said I took the 10 points, and I like the under better than I do the spread,
I'm saying
Pete.
There's the upset of the weekend that you took them. I'm being sarcastic. Of course you were taking the Browns. You had to take the Browns. You always take the Browns.
You're not taking the Browns, are you?
No, I'm not taking the Browns. But I see where Brady's coming from because this is an intriguing team. Kevin Stefanski's done a great job with this offense. And what they did last week, look, they put the game plan in. Remember we sat here last week and I said it's not going to be that big a deal for them without him there. The game plan was in. They ran the game plan. Alex Van Pelt called it. Now he's back. Brady mentioned it. Denzel Ward's back. Joe Bitonio will be back. They're healthy. The problem is I see this game being a lot like last year's playoff games in Kansas City. And what happened in those games?
Well, they fell behind by double digits.
Exactly.
Okay.
They fell behind, but this team is built to come from behind. I think the Browns will be able to run the ball like they always do on the Chiefs. They've run the ball all season long on everybody. But in the end, they don't have the defense, and they don't have the firepower to keep up with the Chiefs. So, again, those teams went in there. Who were they? They were the Texans, and they threw the ball around. The Titans ran the ball. And what happened? They got the lead, but they couldn't stop Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will be on fire in the playoffs again this year.
You saw that graphic, a lot of close wins for the Chiefs. You can cross off that Week 17 game. Mahomes didn't play. A lot of the starters didn't play in that game. Brady, this is a quarterback rematch of one of the best college football games that we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes me scared about saying take the under here at 57 points because the last time these guys faced off against one another in college, I think they each had about over 800 total yards of offense, scored over 100 points when Baker was at Oklahoma and Patrick Mahomes was at Texas Tech. And you better believe there's still that rivalry there. When you go back and look at Baker Mayfield's path to Oklahoma, you can't forget that he ended up walking on to Texas Tech, becoming the Big 12 newcomer of the year, and that following spring wasn't just given the job. Cliff Kingsbury wanted him to actually prove himself and compete to win out that job the following year. Baker Mayfield said, I'd rather go to Oklahoma. He walked on there, did that, and then in comes Patrick Mahomes, who ended up becoming a first-round pick and a prolific passer in college football. Now we get these two scoring off again. Trust me, there's a little bit of bad blood there. There's a lot of respect, but there is a little bit of that, kind of who's better between the two based on their track record, based on their history.
Wait. There's no debate anymore. I mean, maybe there's a college debate.
No. You may say that, but trust me, Baker Mayfield feels differently about that in his mind.
No.
He's got the funnier
He's
commercials.
the only one. I don't even think his family would think that.
He's on more commercials, to be honest with you.
He does a lot of commercials.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes does some regional stuff, but a lot of Baker stuff is national. Okay, so you guys differ on the pick. Brady likes the Browns to cover the 10, not to win the game, but to cover the 10. You think this is going to be a blowout?
In the second half. I think it'll be close for half, and it'll pull away in the second half.
Okay, so that would be 3 consecutive AFC Championship appearances for the Chiefs. Last team to do that, the Philadelphia Eagles, early and mid-2000s, Andy Reid, the head coach.
Great coach.
All right, let's move on to our AFC players to watch this weekend. Brady, who's your player?
Lamar Jackson. Look, I think he had over 300 total yards of offense in the wild card round. And really, this game and whether or not Baltimore can pull off the upset and beat the Bills will be about his performance, whether it's, using his legs, but really from the pocket through the air. How effectively will he be able to match what Josh Allen presents on the other side? So I'm watching Lamar Jackson, in part because he's dynamic, he's fun to watch, but also to see if he can match and surpass what Josh Allen's going to bring on that side from the Bills.
My guy's Baker Mayfield. If they're going to win this game, he's going to have to play big. I know they want to run the ball. I know that's what they do, and everything they do is predicated off that run game. But he's going to have to play big because I think the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points, so he's going to have to try and keep up with his arm. It's great to have the philosophy of trying to run it, control the clock, score off your run. I get it. But when you're playing an offense like the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to be able to throw the football and score. So my guy is Baker Mayfield.
Can you imagine the frenzy in Cleveland if they win this game? I mean, COVID be damned. They might be out on the streets throwing a parade. They've thrown parades for much less we've seen over the last several years.
If they won this game and pulled off their shocking upset, in the back of their minds, they'd always expect to lose the following week. That's who the Browns fans are.
Okay, well, they've never won 2 road playoff games in the same season. They won their first road playoff game since the 60s last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. My player to watch this week is Josh Allen. I thought you were going to take him, but I mean, Josh, just like Baker could become a total cult hero in Cleveland, if Josh Allen wins for the Buffalo Bills, takes them to the AFC Championship game on the brink of getting back to the Super Bowl where they got clobbered time and time again in the 90s, that would be something to watch as well. The Bills at home this week. And again, there will be some fans.
I threw you a curveball. It was too obvious for me to take Josh Allen.
Yeah, I thought you would, because you're pounding the drum. You say, I'm the only one who said Josh Allen was going to be a great quarterback.
I was. But no, Brady says he is too, but that's a whole other story.
Here are the... Pete, why aren't you picking over-unders? Brady picked the under in both those.
Brady went...
He's lazy.
No,
he's lazy.
Brady went for, as EK calls it, the surf and turf when you pick both.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.